I wanted a few days to ponder the various questions that you ask. I certainly am not working as hard as I will be in the summer, but I'm working at a rather strenuous clip with little outside time. I know this is hard to believe possible in a service hospital. On the other hand, I think you found it true in your short stint at Travis that while the ophthalmologist and otolaryngologist had lots of free time, the obstetrician and pediatrician and psychiatrist was quite busy. Again, before I start this tape, excuse my use and continued use of these tapes, Bob, but these are the only ones I have available other than the 1200 feet and 1800 feet tapes, and I hesitate to even start one of those, also being of Holzman descent and hating to send something half finished off. Now what I plan to do is to read through your letter paragraph and by paragraph and comment or answer the questions that you ask. I hope you will understand my use of the tape recorder. I will repeat things that I think you might want to write down. However, it certainly is a lot easier to correspond this way. With regards to the 1960 income taxes, I appreciate your tentative figures. I will complete my tax, I hope, this weekend, and will forward it to you. What I plan to do is pencil in all the figures to sign my name to it, and I would appreciate it if you went over this and then wrote a check for the amount outstanding, or if there was nothing outstanding, just sent it in. In this way, I can get my tax in at a reasonable hour. I will not have to wait for your actual figures of the estate, but actually let you ink them in. Of course, I would immediately reimburse you with the sum you laid out. Secondly, about the check for $36 that I sent you, I meant that to be from my account here. I hesitate to touch the trust. I would like to leave that sum intact. I think that any habit or any exception to this idea will result in the dwindling of this sum, and this is, as far as I'm concerned, capital not to be touched at this hour. Thirdly, you talk about the termination of my trust. I'm glad you mentioned this. I had no idea that it involved litigation of sorts, and I appreciate your comments. In reference to the trust in general, I share your animosity, and I think by this time that word is correct, toward Mr. Sutton. I share these feelings wholeheartedly, whereas I have been rather passive up until this time. I'm wondering whether we should remain as passive as we have been. This is just a thought, and I know too little about it to express any wise opinion. I certainly would waive the court accounting of the trust and accept the trustee's figures. I would have no hesitation towards doing this, and if you would just forward the necessary documents to achieve this, I will return them promptly. Now, as to terminating the trust, I actually really hesitate a long time, and even considering asking Mr. Sutton to submit a fee to me and letting him take over the actual court appearance. Possibly this is a grave mistake. Possibly by our showing our trust in him, he would show more enthusiasm toward our participation in this whole ordeal, and I think the word ordeal is necessitated at this time. But I feel, not knowing the man, that this possibility is less likely than the possibility that he will continue to bleed us. Therefore, And again, I don't necessarily want to close the matter at this time. Possibly you would like to discuss it with me further. Would rather have some other attorney in Los Angeles present the matter to the court. I would be more than happy to use your lawyer in San Mateo. However, if this would be extremely costly, I certainly have enough friends in the legal profession in Los Angeles to utilize them. You mentioned Aaron, and I did mention this matter recently in a letter to Mother for her comments, only this matter about a lawyer. And I would have 3 objections to Aaron, not all great, and possibly Aaron would be by far the most logical person to carry this through for us. First of all, I hate to burden him always with my legal matters, as I know he would never accept a fee, and I think we are imposing on a most generous individual. I have no doubt that this gives him a great deal of pleasure, as we have been very close to him, but I still hate imposing on him continually. I just stepped out again, and we'll have to reread a little bit. I got a call from the hospital and probably will have to go out this evening. I hope I get to finish this tape before I do. I was talking about Aaron. The other thing is possibly he doesn't have time. And thirdly, and I don't know how important this is, I know Dad and disliked Aaron intensely, and as long as this is Dad's estate, I feel kind of squeamish about this. Maybe this is ridiculous. Also, Mr. Sutton was a friend of Dad's, I believe, and probably or possibly was aware of the relationship. Therefore, another consideration would be to ask Mr. Maguson, who I know fairly well now, who is a very adequate or more than adequate attorney, to look into the matter. Possibly this is too close to Mother, but I don't think you can get any closer to Mother than Aaron. These are just suggestions. I would hesitate to ask Mr. Sutton in summary. I would certainly appreciate your attorney taking care of the matter, but if this is costly, this is to be avoided. And finally, wonder whether or not I should ask Aaron or Mr. Maguson. I'd appreciate your comments. Again, I'm just going paragraph by paragraph again. I'm sorry that you can't meet Barbara at the airport, but it will probably work out that she will either not come at all, which is a good possibility at this time, or she will not come through San Francisco, in other words, not go through Travis. There's a lot of indecision here, and much of this is due to your comments in the next paragraph about my not coming to California. Bob, I hope you understand that I would enjoy coming to California. I would enjoy seeing you and Evie and the children, and after all, California is my home, an area which I am very fond of and hope to settle in, although this also is a long time off. As far as the trip, and I'm just skimming your letter at this point, driving down the Alcan, I think your conception of it is ill-conceived and without basis. We would probably not take a trailer. I think we would have plenty of room for provisions, for tires,